Hello and welcome along to TGP1. It's rounds 5 and 6. It is Spain and Monaco. Currently you are viewing qualifying here at the Catalunya circuit. It's Spain, 17 laps as we do 25% races here in TGP2 and as well as in TGP1. There's 16 turns. The tyres for this race are your super softs and the medium compound tyre. Now, Owen, this can be quite a difficult circuit with many curves, and we've seen Erland Ang out already, and Luca is now, whether he's gone out through the curves or having retired, but it's a difficult circuit and these curves can put you in the wall.
Yeah, very difficult circuit, this circuit de Catalunya, especially turn 9, Camps a corner. It's prone for people running wide. As you see, Chiapelli, as I was looking at Michael Kenny, and Chiapelli went off on the exit of turn number 4, just to report there. But yeah, turn 9, the exit of Campsa, catch the curb if you're running a little too wide. You think it's a quicker corner than it actually is. You get that outside curb, can get a dip in a wheel in the gravel, and then you're in that barrier and you're done. As we're about to see Michael Kenny save it. Bloody hell. Sorry about that, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, and now, as we've seen there, Luca has retired. Now, he and his teammate Dominic Smith coming across the line now to start a lap time are the two drivers to watch at the moment for Cyber. They've won 3 of the first 4 races this season, which is just incredible, and fantastic start by Cyber. Dom winning in Australia and Luca taking the rest. Very strong start for Cyber, and to have one of those cars out already in qualifying, having 4th the highest that Luca will go, and the track's only going to get quicker. Can Dom out qualify his teammate?
It's a good question. Well, what's the times at the moment? Dom's on a 19.6 and Chiapelli's on a 19.3, so it's possible. Dom's gone out on the circuit currently for another run. I think he's on a hot lap, so I'm going to keep an eye on him. Is there anything else you'd like to add so far?
Yeah, the qualifying starts only 3. It's not particularly important to qualify pole here. It's a long run down into turn 1, and only 3 of the last 10 pole sitters have gone on to win, in comparison to 8 out of the last 10 pole sitters in TGP1. So TGP2, maybe it's not best to get pole position. Maybe it's just better to get a 2nd or 3rd, get the toe into turn 1, and then maybe get a run through turn 2 and 3, make the move maybe down into 4. But again, Dominic, as he cuts that not the final corner, the penultimate corner, as he comes around the final corner now, opening the DRS, working Dominic, put that Cyber, he goes P3 and ahead of his teammate, an 18.6, 3/10 though, off the Irishman of Bossman Sean, who's very inconsistent, I've heard.
Yeah, he does have a history of being inconsistent on another league, TGP cars. He hasn't a theory of when is he going to crash during the race and when is he going to retire, because he just is prone for that sort of thing on TGP cars, not so much in TGP2, but let's see how he goes today.
I was just currently looking through the stats of the circuit. Don't mean to toot my own horn, but I was going to mention, do we have last year's race winner on the circuit? But we don't, because that was me. So the person who wasn't me to last win it was Smokey. I believe this is Smokey J's. That was season 19. That was also on F1 2017. This obviously is the first season on the brand new game of F1 2018. But Smokey J's, he's not here today. I thought he was.
No, he's in TGP1, so that's why.
Oh yeah, that's why he's TGP1.
All the last 3 winners are in TGP1 now on this circuit. All on
yourself's on there, season 18.
Yeah. That was the last title I took in TGP2, and then I moved up to TGP1 again.
CJ though, sorry to interrupt you there, on a quick lap for Renault. He's in the final sector now. Can he get any closer to pole? 2/10 off Bossman Sean. What can CJ do in that Renault? He loses the rear end now, coming up that hill. Those 2 corners very difficult as his teammate of Jose getting out the way. Try not to impede his teammate on the lap. Where can CJ put that Renault? Currently 2/10 off Bossman Sean, who's currently in the pit lane. Up to the line, here comes CJ. Goes pole by a 1/10 of a second, a 118.286 from the Renault driver. And Joe Sayer wasn't about to start a lap, he's pulled into the pit lane. Any surprises out there so far for you, Owen?
Not overly, it's shaking out sort of as I was expected. The only team, I'm just going to quickly add that 5th position Michael Kenny is the only driver in TGP2 to win here currently, and picked up one of his 3 wins in season 7, back on PS3.
Now, if someone had told me, and I don't want to offend Michael Kenny here, if someone had told me and said Michael Kenny would have won a race, I would have laughed. But this season he really has shown some good pace to get on the podium. He's been around that 4th, 5th position. He just needs that little bit more luck and maybe not damage the front wing. I've seen him with some damage to those end plates, I'm pretty sure every race, so he just needs to stay out of the wars, and good things could come that Haas driver's way.
Yeah, he's currently on a hot lap as on the circuit. There's a lot of traffic though around. There's cars trying to keep out of his way as he heads round turn number 10 in sector 3, turns 11. Bit of a tricky corner, very off camber, and then leads you into this long sweeping 12, heading towards 13 now. And they changed this section back in 2007 to implement this chicane that is 14 and 15 as he runs a little bit deep, misses the apex and pulls into the pit lane.
Yeah, not the cleanest lap, very wrong to get it through that last sector. It's quite technical, that final sector, and you need to have a pointy car to gain a lot of time through that sector.
Yeah, that might explain why the Force Indies are struggling, because that is my TGP1 car, and I know from experience that is a very understeery car. Naturally, you have to maybe put a little bit of ballast towards the back end of the car, just to get it a little bit pointy, and then you can get it around the corner.
Well, Joe Sayer, down in 6th, should be disappointed with that with the Renault driver. Currently 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, Joe Sayer. So I think being down in 6th, it's not the best for him so far. Currently 6 points off 2nd place Dom Smith in the Cyber, and 16 off Luca Chiapelli, who's obviously out of this qualifying session but is leading the Drivers' Championship. So Joe Sayer will be looking to get higher up that Drivers' Championship and higher up the grid.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think I'm just hearing from our weather sources that the race for today will be a wet race, so that could make it very interesting.
It's going to make it very interesting. Elite Shots then has a point to prove. Was here the first week, didn't score any. Well, I don't know. No, yes, he did score some points. He scored 1. So I'll rephrase that. He scored a point, not point. Scored point. Scored 1. Didn't really show what he could do in the opening week. In the second week, he wasn't there. So in the third week, he's now got that point to prove as he wrestles up Ferrari up the hill. This is a very difficult corner. Doesn't hit the apex, but he's got the DRS open. The car swerving back to the other side of the circuit. So far, it's been a cleanish lap from the Ferrari driver. I'm not sure about that helmet though. Doesn't quite suit the Ferrari. You need to really look at that if he is watching the stream or watches this after. But so far from Elite Shots, which is otherwise known as Jack, currently, oh, he's hit the curb. You don't want to do that. You want to avoid that bouncy curb, and as well with this one, not cut the corner, nails that. Absolutely fantastic there by number 62 in that Ferrari. Can he improve on 8th place? Opens the DRS up to the line, goes 6th fastest ahead of Joe Sayer on 18.9.
Yeah, I was interested into the lap. It's a slightly different tactic. He pulled straight over towards the pit wall right at the end of the lap. I don't know if that gains anything or not, but it's a very interesting tactic.
Michael Kenny's out of the session, sorry. Michael Kenny, we're not quite sure if he has retired. Oh, and our pole sitter's gone.
Yeah, pole sitter has disconnected. Just as he pulled out the pit lane as well.
Oh no. Renault having slight issues down there, but Dom Smith then, as he just started a lap? I believe he has. Would you like to take us through this one, Owen?
Yes, I don't mind taking you through this one. He's coming around turn 3 now. Up the gears he goes. 7th, heading towards 8th, into turn 4, breaking down this 4th gear corner. Some people take it in 5th, some people take it in 3rd. But you accelerate out, you've got power on. Got to be very gentle with it as you head down towards this very tight, tricky corner. That is turn number 5. Down this little chute with a little kink in it, heading towards this quite quick chicane, 4th gear chicane. Through, that is 6 and 7. Now, into 7 and 8 even, sorry about that. Round camps are now a little bit lift, and there's a car off. It's Elite Shot, so that's where he went off. He went off on the run down between 9 and 10 as Dom enters the 3rd sector. Runs very wide coming out of turn 10. Through the off camber 11. Round through the long sweeping 12 now. Short little shoot towards this very technical final couple of corners. 4th gear round turn 13. Into the final chicane. Takes a lot of curb, and that's the lap done, I think. But
he's going to continue.
Yeah.
He has improved, and he's gone pole with that.
Interesting end of the lap.
That's interesting. And I think a key point to note here, the Renault driver who disconnected of CJ, he's actually back now. Whether he can obviously rejoin the session in time, because he's now in the lobby, but he's not actually in the spectator counts. Whether he gets back in time, hopefully he does. He's been disqualified. So he's starting last.
I think, he has to start last now, I think. As a lot of people have basically finished up towards the top end of the field. Only Chris Johnson's the only person on the lap at the moment, and he's in the middle of the 2nd sector.
That McLaren driver then. Don't think he's too happy with his teammate China. They didn't have the best race in McLaren, getting in each other's way, taking each other out of the Grand Prix. I don't know if that was a bit of lag there. Not the cleanest run though from Chris Johnson as he heads up the hill, opens now the rear. It's very easy to let the car drift wide, go into the gravel and put it in the wall, which Elite Shot said that Mercedes getting right out of the way. Maybe could have done it a bit better than that as he's on the racing line, which has compromised Chris Johnson. Dom Smith!
Oh, okay, that's
naughty from Dom.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think it's one of those things with this game.
That's, I think, ended Chris Johnson's qualifying.
Backed out. I think that's the end of the only person still on lap is Bazza, and he's cruising back to the pit. So there is your grid. So take us through it, Aidan.
Well, this is incredible. Well, Dominic Smith is currently on pole with a 1:18.1. Bossman Sean and the Irishman, who I thought was going to get pole until Dom had a remake of the final sector, is in second on a 1:18.2. Chris Johnson then being impeded on that lap time is third on a 1:18.0. Michael Kenny an impressive fourth on an 18.8. Elite Shots gets his best qualifying session on an 18 something. I will do the rundown in just a minute. Thanks, Codemasters.
That was the top 5. Dom
that
Smith
was your top 5.
Yeah. So there's full rundown will be up in a sec, but unfortunately in Dom's favour, like you've said earlier, only 3 of the last 10 pole sitters have gone on to win here in Spain.
Yeah, it's a long run down into turn 1. Here actually now is your full rundown. I'll start from where I left off. So Elite Shots then is now 5th, a 1:18.9, 7 tenths off in 5th. Joe Sayer will be disappointed with that 6th, 1:19.0. 8 tenths off. Luca though will be heartbroken starting 7th, a 1:19.3. He is out of position. Jacko is 8th, Mr. John is 9th. AFCB James is the final car rounding out the top 10, and Baza is in a prime position to get lovely fresh tyres starting in P11. Red Bull Kim 12th, Russ 13th, Petrolhead 14th, and down in 15th is Erlang, and CJ is 16th after being disconnected and disqualified from the session. Very good qualifying session there, Owen.
Yeah, very good qualifying session indeed. And for the race, unless Michael Kenny wins, it will be the first new winner in TGP2 in 14 seasons.
Oh, the rain
very wet
is coming down. Sorry to interrupt. That is bolts.
Yeah, very reminiscent of 1996 Catalonia. That famous drive from Michael Schumacher in that Ferrari, that season at Ferrari. That was one of his drives of his career, probably.
This is definitely going to be interesting. This might actually help Dom into turn 1, because it's not all about engine power. I mean, we know they're all unequal, but it's the rain, so you've got to mention it. It's not all about engine power. It's about how much downforce you have on that car and how stable and how just nice you are to your car in these conditions. If you're nice to it, it'll be nice to you back. But if you throw it around in the wet, you're going in the wall. As the lights are now coming on for round 5 in TGP2, it is Spain. And it's lights out, and away we go. Dom Smith getting a decent start from pole position. Bossman Sean in second, trying to pull alongside. Chris Johnson third. Some movement in the background. Dom Smith's actually lost out to Bossman Sean, and Renault taking to the pit lane down into turn 1. Bossman Sean leads into braking. Chris Johnson trying to go around the outside of Dom Smith. There's a Ferrari nudging him as well. Elite Shots up to 4th. Luca up to 5th, and Joe 7th. And there's something on in the background.
Yeah,
it's a McLaren.
Basically, Chris Johnson, the spin around there, going out of turn 2. And
Chris Johnson is round. That's not the start for the McLaren driver, Michael Kenny. And look at you, that's Michael Kenny round. He's come to collision with Elite Shots. And that's another incident for the Ferrari driver. And that's not the start he would have wanted. But Dom Smith, though, 7 tenths behind Bossman Sean. Very chaotic start, Owen Quimby.
Yeah, very chaotic start. We had Elite Shots causing all the drama. Clipping the back of Chris Johnson coming around turn 2, and then I didn't see what happened with him and Michael Penny, but they both ended up in the gravel when I looked round.
Well, not the cleanest start, but in these conditions you're not always going to get the cleanest start, because some people just can't see with the spray. You can barely see the rain light or even the lights on your own dashboard in these conditions. I think we've got Joel round. No, we don't. He's just dropping
he didn't go
down.
Round. He ran very wide at camps.
Elite Shots was off. Again, not the start. He's off. Is that 7 and 8, I believe? So not the start there for that. There's a Force India off as well. That's my Red Bull Kim round. He's coming caught up with Erlang. This is insane.
Red Bull Kim has gone for a spin, as we see CJ cruising very slowly. Is he disconnected again, or what's going on here?
He's lagging about the place. Joe's got to be careful not to get damage here.
Yeah.
This is incredible. But here comes Joe Sayer though on his teammate. He's pulling to the inside. Can he get the move down? Is CJ going defensive? Joe pulls alongside. He's got the inside, but it's not the racing line. And he's backed out of it, and CJ holds P8 for now. But I don't know if he's gone wide or not. We'll just move away from that to now.
Yeah,
Luca Chiapelli, though, fantastic start. Oh, elite shots is left, so maybe it was lag.
Start. Yeah, Jacko and James, while you were commentating on Joe there, was having a virtual safety car. But going into turn one. Yeah, going into turn one, side by side, James tried to go round the outside of Jacko and just couldn't make it stick in the end.
Yeah, absolute chaotic start here, but again, that might be down to the conditions. But Luca, the massive gainer, 7th, and now up to 3rd. Our championship leader is now on the podium. And will Cyber have a bit of team play here? Dom's actually overtaken bossman Sean under virtual safety car, and so's Luca. We're now racing again. That's strange. I want to know what happened there, but both the Cybers are now 1 and 2. Dom ahead of Luca. That's not... I don't know what's going on there.
I didn't see what happened either. I was too busy watching this train for 4th behind Jacko. Because James ran wide actually quite badly under virtual safety car, and Basil was right on him unsafe on the virtual restart, but because it was Camp's corner, couldn't really make a move on him.
Basil then on the back of James, the battle for 4th at the moment, but Basil's looking hungry. Oh, that's a Jacko, and that's going to allow James around the outside. What a move by the McLaren to have enough grip and confidence to go around the outside there.
Sean is going round the outside of Dom Smith, trying to get his place back. Is he going to make it stick? No, not quite.
Luca keeps that P2. Bossman Sean looking racy. James in the background with Jacko. This is incredible. There's battles at the front, battles in the midfield, and battles at the back. Sean coming now back at Luca Chiapelli. Obviously the drivers in full wet conditions, so they do not have to make that mandatory pit stop. They can go to the end if they want, and if it does dry out, they can use whatever dry compound they would like. But the Cybers, though, I would like to say in control of this, but Lucas seems to be struggling at the moment with that rear end, and bossman Sean wants that P2 away from that Alfa Romeo Cyber.
Yeah, meanwhile, further down the field, CJ's made up another place from where he started. He's up to P7. He's in the middle of that gaggle for P4 now. As there's cars going wide, Jacko goes wide, basically cuts across the front of Bazza there. So what's Bazza going to do? He's going to try up the inside of Campson. No, not quite. CJ might be able to get a run on him.
Thing I've just noticed, Joe Sayer has actually pitted. So whether he had damage from maybe CJ's laggy car, because I think CJ actually has damage at the moment, so whether they came to contact like they did in China, and if they did, I don't think Silver Labitable will be too happy with that. But P7
yeah,
though.
I'm sorry I have to cut away because the top 3 are basically all together now.
This is incredible. Running on board then with bossman Sean. Look at the spray. Can barely see the 2 cars ahead of him. Lucas has the fastest lap of this Grand Prix on lap 4. I was about to say 136. A 136 there from Luca Chiapelli. But bossman Sean just looks more comfortable at the moment. The Cybers are quick, but they're restless. Bossman Sean looks like he's in control of this race.
Yeah, very well. You say that, but it's still very close at the front. 2 Saubers leading the way, 1-2. Not really realistic to real life, but that's how it goes in league racing. As we see Bazza, and I think that's CJ going up the inside. Yes, it is. CJ is up in 6th position, and his next target is Jacko now.
Yeah, he definitely has damage to that front wing of that Renault, and I believe Baz is actually... I've gone into the ground.
Oh, well,
I'm not...
CJ is lagging like mad, so...
I went into the ground there,
CJ,
and he's
suddenly dropped to 9th on my screen.
Yeah, oh, Chiapelli's been passed for P2. Bossman Sean has got past. Look, he's coming right back down. What a move!
No, he's still side by side. He's going to try and give him the hip
got
and
it now,
shoulder
though.
Exit. It's worked.
Lucas now into P2. Bossman Sean demoted back down to P3, but CJ has more damage to that Renault, and you need downforce in these conditions, and I'm pretty sure that Renault isn't giving him any now. Yellow flag is
no,
out.
I don't think it is. The CJ is lacking quite a lot.
Oh, here comes Sean. Oh, look at the final corner. Pushed him wide, and he is now... Pow!
Oh,
Shots in the wall, says Luca!
Accident! Oh, bloody hell! Luca! I don't know what was going on there. Basically,
will we see a safety car?
Yeah, Sean tried to give Luca the hip and shoulder on the exit of the final.
Oh, Dom's round! Dom's in the wall!
Oh no! It's all gone mad. Chiapelli's leading the race.
This has been handed to Luca on a plate.
Yeah.
This is incredible stuff.
Well, I wouldn't say handed with the boss man Sean, but definitely with Dom there. Dom in the lead, had a comfortable lead. Well,
he's got no front wing,
but a decent sized lead.
He's going to have to nurse that back.
It. Yeah.
Oh no, he does. He's just missing the left side. Thanks, Halo, blocking my view. Bossman Sean, obviously, now out of this Grand Prix. It was looking so well for him. He had the pace on the Cybers. He could have taken his time. He didn't have to make the move there. As Dom now goes into the gravel.
Well, to be fair, I think he's pretty much past. I think he tried to cut across the front of Chiapelli, but just wasn't all the way past. So Chiapelli just gave him the pit manoeuvre and put him straight in the wall.
I think the also thing that's happened that I've seen on this game, which is... Oh, I thought Dom and that were battling, which isn't brilliant, is... I see, on the spectator cam, it looks like Luca... Dom's gone wide and there goes Jacko. Looks like Luca's come across him, but on Luca's screen he's probably not even touched him. He's gone into the slipstream, but because online is so bad on this game, it's rendered a hit, and it's put both of them in the wall, but Luca getting away with one there. And he's still got most of that front wing.
Yeah, and Luca's now got a 9-second lead over James in second. What's Dom Smith going to do? Is he going to pee into the pit lane? Yes, he does.
Yeah, that's ruined his race. Fresh wets though, he will be a lot quicker than those people on those wets to now. But you don't have to pit, so these people, they might not. It's the yellow flag in sector 3. I'm not quite sure what that's for. That might be for Jack getting back in the race. Oh no, he's still AI. He rejoined, but he's still AI at the moment. Michael Kenny though, without one stop, fighting his way back through the field. Currently sitting in P14, which isn't points, but CJ's in 12th, which is points. The TGP2 point system is normal.
Oh, Chris Johnson
from 1 to 5th.
Side by side coming down the straight. Oh no, it's Chris Johnson's lag. Never mind.
Oh, there we go. That's Dom. Yeah,
rejoins in 10th place.
It's not gone well for one Cyber, but it's been a dream race for the other one, 7th to 1st. I'll get back to the points in just a second, but we've got Chris Johnson now on the back of Joe Sayer. Can that McLaren get any closer to that Renault without making a move? All over the back now of Joe Sayer, who needs to get up the field if Luca is currently winning this race. Chris Johnson, though, is he going to go up the inside? No, not at the moment. Chooses better up. He's got to watch out now because Dom Smith is also catching in that Cyber behind.
Yeah, Dom Smith on fresh wets, new front wing. They're just trying. This is a recovery drive really for Dom now. See
he's round!
Oh,
he's just saved it. That was incredible there. Nice save there from Dom Smith to keep that facing the right way.
Yeah, keeping that the right way. Like I was going to say, just a recovery drive for Dom, and probably likely now that he's going to join that list of pole sitters who have not won the race here in TGP2.
It's not good for him. We'll get on to the points quickly now because I don't think this is much of an overtaking place. TGP2 and TGP1 have a different point system to Formula 1, where 1 to 5th is normal, 25, 18, 15, 12 and 10, but 6th down to 12th get points, being 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is to increase drivers down the field to not retire and to have them battle for something, and it reduces the number of retirements as well, which I think is good for obviously people racing, and it's also good for the spectators to have a battle wherever it is for position.
Yeah, Chris Johnson just not close enough. He's starting to drop back actually a little bit from Joe. Dom's a little bit further behind now. He's going to try and claw that back, and Chiapelli's
there goes Chris Johnson up the inside of Joe Sayer. Can he make the move and demote the Renault driver into P9? That rear sliding, they're side by side. What can that McLaren driver do? Nothing at the moment. It's getting close, but no cigar. But Joe runs deep. Now the McLaren can have a good run up through 7 and 8. But again, Joe Sayer's got the traction and pulls away from that McLaren. 10 seconds now, the gap though. Oh, Chris Johnson and Joe getting squirmy going up the hill.
Yeah, I've just shot up a little bit further up the field as Erland and Baz are battling for P4 at the moment. Baz has just run wide coming into the final chicane. So let's see what Erland can do heading down the main straight now. What can he do? Gonna go on board with him. Up the gears, 6th, 7th. No DRS in the wet, of course. Can he just get enough slipstream to have a go into turn 1? It's closing, he's closing, he's closing. Baza moves to the inside. Erland's going to try and sweep round the outside. Can he do it? Oh, he's going to get it done. Beautiful move.
What a move by Erland.
Into turn 2.
That's 2 weeks in a row now where he has pulled off a fantastic move in the Force India, showing a lot of confidence in his car. And now can he go and get Jacko in the Rebel for that final podium position? But what a move!
Yeah, only 1.5 seconds the gap to Jacko, so it's very plausible. We've still got 9 laps to go in this race now, as we look further down the field. And that train is now a train of 3 as Dom Smith is caught up again.
Dom Smith are getting very squirmy through turns 1 and 2. Can he get any closer on those fresh tyres? Can he make a move on Chris Johnson? He'll need the point, especially with Luca winning. He's already 10 behind. He doesn't want to go any further behind as Dom Smith, and now this could be Chris Johnson's best chance to get past that Renault. But again, Chris Johnson just not sticking his nose in there, showing Joe that he wants to pass. He's been a bit maybe too conservative, but again, very clean racing though from these 3.
Yeah, very clean racing. Chris Johnson hasn't really tried to force the issue so far. He hasn't just licked the stamp and tried to send it yet. Maybe he'll do so. He's got a bit of time, because realistically he isn't really going to get up to Petrolhead. They're like 10 seconds up the road from him, and then Petrolhead's like 17 seconds behind Mr. John in 6th.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Johnson's just biding his time, but he's got to watch out for the likes of Dom, for the likes of Laggy, CJ. Red Bull Kim I don't think is much of a threat at the moment unless he can pick up the pace. But Michael Kenny though, on a recovery drive, he's just kept that going the right way. And I don't think, we still don't have elite shots in the session. So he's in the session but isn't racing at the moment. So just spectating, but those 3 now are going to be, those 2 are going to be slipstreaming Joe Sayer down into turn 1.
Yeah, heading down towards turn 1 now. I don't think Dom's going to be close enough. Maybe he might have a go, but he's unlikely. He's not quite close enough. Meanwhile, Erland is half the gap. So Jacko is now only about 5 tenths behind, if that.
Yeah, the Force India absolutely flying at the moment, up through 7 and 8. Obviously not as quick in these full wet conditions. The rain still continuing to pour. We haven't seen any sign of it clearing away, so we are suspecting full wet to the end of this race. But Erlang now on the back of Jacko, half a second behind. Can he get any closer to making that move? I believe flags are actually being waved. Don't think that's correct.
Meanwhile, further down the field, Chris Johnson's going to try and make the move around the outside of turn 5. Is he going to be able to get it done? They're side by side. Dom's all over the back of him as well, waiting for one of them to make a mistake, and he just can't get it done.
Chris Johnson, though, he almost had the move there, and I think he might have it now. Oh, Joe! He's getting on the grass. It's definitely not the run he wanted through there. These 2 now, side by side. Joe waving all over the circuit. Dom must be praying for an accident now. Dom could go around the outside of Joe Sayer. This is incredible racing from these 3. Very clean as well. Not much banging wheels going on at all. Dom Smith very conservative now. Doesn't want to knock off that front wing. But Chris Johnson will finally getting past the Renault driver. And can he keep it there?
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Dom Smith is the next person to try and pass Joe Sayer. Meanwhile, further up the field, Land had a little sniff going into turn 1, but just couldn't get it done. Not quite close enough, and he's still behind Jacko in P3. Chiapelli's still got like a 10-second lead over James in 2nd, and then Jacko's still 3rd as we're watching this battle between Jacko and Erland.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. The race definitely has got that little bit cleaner through the stages, and Erlang now will be looking to take that podium position away from Jacko. He's half a second behind still. Can he get any closer to that? And he'll be wanting to. He's all over now at the back of that Aston Martin Red Bull racing car. Also, no, as Owen said, no DRS in the way.
But Dom was having a sniff there over Joe Sayer and nearly made it into turn 4, but not quite getting the deal done.
Erlang then getting closer and closer to Jacko. Force India struggling, it looks a bit for rear downforce, maybe just putting the power down that little bit too much or that little bit too early. But he's definitely the quicker driver here and is all over Jacko, who has actually caught up to the back of James. About 2 seconds in the past few laps, so James in that McLaren struggling for pace at the moment.
Yeah, meanwhile further back down the field, Dom Smith. Oh, Joe has a massive tank slapper, he's off at Kamsa! He's gone off at Kamsa! He's come back onto the track, narrowly avoiding all the walls somehow, and Dom Smith is finally passed.
Yeah, I think that's not what Joe would have wanted. Both the Renaults were looking so strong in China and they fell away. They look strong here again today in qualifying. Obviously one of them getting disqualified. Mr. John's actually come into the pit lane. He's gone for the intermediates.
Yeah, he's gone on to the inters. Yeah, he's taken a risk. I don't know if it's going to work, but he's taken a gamble.
He was sitting P5, so that could either ruin his race or it could be the strategy call. He's just come out now ahead of Red Bull Kim, but that's very strange there from Mr. John, the only driver at the moment on the intermediate compound tyre. We need to keep an eye on his pace and see how he's doing.
Yeah, he's got petrol head, which will be a perfect example for us to see what is the quicker tyre, as he's all over him on the wet tyres, petrol head. And petrol head isn't flying past, to be fair.
No, he's not. Not at all. So maybe Mr. John going to the intermediates might be just the right call. If he can keep it on that drier line, he might have a chance.
Yes, that's what he's got to try and do, though. He's doing a pretty decent job of it so far, and he's not exactly getting Petrolhead all over him, but Petrolhead's still there, so I think it's just about on the crossover at the moment by the looks of it then. As we've just seen flash up there, Chiapelli sets a new fastest lap.
Yeah, absolutely flying in no man's land as Luca. Will anyone else, though, opt for the intermediate compound tyres? Currently 23 seconds behind Baza. We need to keep an eye on that gap. See if it does come down. It's actually gone up to 24.2, but it's coming back down yet again. We need to see how that gap is getting on. Tinkering between 24 and 23. But a very strange call, though. It doesn't look like it's intermediate out there. It still looks like it's wet.
Yeah. Chris Johnson peeling into the pit lane as well. Is he going to jump onto the inters? We're going to keep an eye on him as he heads towards his McLaren pit crew.
This is going to be interesting then. They're going to need a quick one because he was running a solid race at the moment. Just got past Joe Sayer in the Renault. Dropped now to P10. CJ or A4 Cat will surely get past him, and he is going on to the intermediate compound tyres. Wets go off and inters go on, and he's not moving from his pit box. Oh no, he is moving from his pit box. He's now left the pit lane.
Ah, okay, right.
Bit of lag.
Then.
So he's now the second driver to go into the intermediate compound of tyre.
Yeah. So far this lap, Mr. John has actually gained a fair bit of time. So I think the inters is slowly becoming the quicker tyre. So is it going to be what we'll see the guys up the front of the field do? Erland is all over the back of Jacko for P3 still, but they're both on wets. Is any of them going to take the risk? They're in the final sector, so going to see what they do. Coming around these last couple of corners now, Jacko a little bit wide, coming through 14, no 15 even.
This could be it.
As they head into... No, neither of them pulled in. But could this be the time for Erland to make the move?
Here we go then, he's pulling up in the slipstream off that Red Bull. Pulls now to the right hand side, looking for turn one. Squeezing him now to the pit lane exit. Erland just on the grass. And can he slow it down? He does slow it down, but Jacko holding that podium position. And Mr. John has now taken that a second out of Baza on those intermediate compound of tyre. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dom Smith, having his recovery drive, is now all over the back of Petrolhead for P7 in this race. What can he do? He's closing, he's closing, he's closing. Will he be able to make the move down into T1? He goes up the inside, and that's done deal.
Fantastic move by Dom Smith, nice and controlled, got it slowed down, didn't overshoot the corner. Is he going to go on the wall again? No, he doesn't. He manages to keep that out. But Dom Smith, though, has had a lot of close calls to completely ruining that Cyber. He's very lucky just to knock off half his front wing when he put it in the wall earlier.
Yeah, very lucky. Yeah, it's just a very tricky track anyway, but it's especially tricky in the wet, this circuit. A lot of teams do the testing, so they should know pretty well by this circuit, considering they do all the winter testing at Barcelona, but they still can throw up a few surprises every now and then.
Erlang then literally pushing Jacko round. He's clearly the quicker driver, just can't get past that Red Bull man at the moment. Coming through now the final sector and round now the penultimate corner. Can he do anything into the final corner? Loses the rear, hits the grass. It's not going to help his run into the final corner, losing the rear. But now into the slipstream comes that Force India driver. He's obviously these tyres 13 laps old on the wets. He hasn't pitted, as you can clearly see, for the intermediate compound tyre. Only two drivers on there. He's going to go round the outside. Jacko though fends him off yet again.